Well-being. You are a cell, surrounded by a liquid home. It makes you feel safe, floating in endless unawareness, still free from thought and feelings. But the time demands for change, for you to change. Your one cell gets pulled apart. Now there are two, then four, and so on. Splitting, fusing, connecting, and flowing. Patterns come to existence. They start to build you up and break you down. A body and a mind. You have become a being now. As you grow bigger, the water starts to drain and you are awakened. A deep hunger for progress pushes you to act. You start to explore your surroundings. There are walls all around you, still damp and cold. The wall is made of rough stones stacked on top of each other, and in the cracks grows mold and moss. You smell the scent of life, balanced with those of death and decay. Sounds of dripping water reverberate all around you. The words you speak come back to you, your questions answered by questions. Who are you? Are you? Getting no useful response frustrates you. Anger lights a fire inside you and moves you forward. Your fingers begin to dig into the cracks until you find some grip and you climb. Gravity tempts you to remain at the bottom, but you persevere. You pause to catch your breath and look up. You think you see a blue eye watching you from above. It looks beautiful, but it scares you a bit. Your legs start to tremble, uncertain of the range of their abilities. You focus your attention back to the stone wall. As you climb higher, the colors and shapes become clearer. The surfaces of the stones are like pieces of art. Each indent gives a unique shadow, and the organisms that dwell here tell their stories through color and form, repeating but ever changing. The green of the moss energizes you. The cracks are becoming bigger, and you discover the roots of small plants that made their home there. Their leaves display intricate patterns that mesmerize you. They are like you, looking for ways to survive and to grow. But unlike you, they are blissfully unaware of the past and future. Their bodies are intertwined in the act of being. You come across a larger gap where bigger and stronger roots have forced the rocks apart. Excited now, you start to disentangle them. Some vines are armored with sharp thorns. A sensation of pain demands your body to stop, but your mind encourages your bleeding fingers to continue digging. A ray of light hits your pupil with such a force that your eyes immediately close shut. Shapes and vivid colors dance behind your eyelids. When they slowly start to fade, you dare to open your eyes again. Soft tones of amber and sepia seep through this opening. They calm your nerves. It's now big enough for you to fit, and filled with wonder, you climb through. You slowly lower yourself, still firmly holding on to the roots. When your feet feel the weight of your body again, you let go and turn around. You find that you are still underground. The floor is soft, made of dirt and decaying plant matter. Feels very old. You can almost taste the years with each humid breath. Roots of trees create archways that form an organic tunnel, untouched and unseen by humans. In the distance you see a golden glow. It beckons you to come closer. You hear something behind you, a breathy whisper. An icy chill runs down your spine. You turn around to see a shadow cast by the golden light. It has the same shape as you. It stops when you stop. But then it moves closer to you, growing darker. It wants to grab you. It wants to bite your being, to let darkness seep into your heart, poisoning all that's good. You start running to the light, meandering through the winding tunnel. It is licking at your ankles, but before it could make you fall, you thankfully arrive at the source of the light. What you see is a giant golden mushroom. Without thinking, you climb the fluorescent fungus. Panting and with teary eyes, you look down from the cap and see that the shadow has halted, but its fingers have touched something in you. A part of you awakened like a sleeping beast trying to break out of its cage. Something else also happened when you made your attempt to outrun this demon of yours. You have touched the mushroom and made it release its spores. They looked like small specks of light floating slowly down from the luminescent gills of the toadstool. When the spores touched the ground, nothing happened for a moment. They looked like they were absorbed by the fertile soil. But then, the ground started to glow as lots of small root-like tendrils started to form and began to emit a pure white light. They spread across the floor and entangling with one another, forming intrinsic patterns of life, a balanced process of production and consumption. That's when tiny little spheres began to emerge from the soil, fruiting bodies, filling themselves with the energy gained from its mycelium network, eating what was left behind to embody the present moment, wasting nothing and transforming into mushrooms. The shadow is shrinking, being consumed by millions of ravenous stomachs. Amazed by this process, you admire the mushrooms. They saved you and helped themselves in the process. The sinking feeling in your heart is now filled with a similar golden shine. When you have recovered from shock and regained your control of your body, you carefully climb down, trying not to damage the soft white flesh of your new friend. You are planning to go back to the hole in the well, but as a changed being, you muttered a soft thank you to the fantastic fungi. But before you could take your first steps, it started to speak. Its gills are vibrating as the first stones are formed. I am Foxterra, voice of the soil. Would you stand still for a moment and listen? Or would you choose to ignore, choose not to know? Ruinations caused by human error. Guilt cannot hide itself forever. Disturbance, alienation, selfish and savage, you have become disconnected from nature, our nature. Collaborations, building worlds, the wood by the web, a symbiotic, multi-species assemblage, entanglement for mutual benefits. My own kingdom, neither plant nor animal, eating death and sharing life. Great survivors, golden teachers. Stability, sustainability, and biodiversity, creating a polyphony of life. All is interlocked, and you are a part of it. Now take a trip, taste my essence, smell the forest, feel your roots. Learn the truth, it glows in the dark. When the last words ebbed away, something clicked inside you. Without looking back, you start to walk into the darkness, your steps vibrating the earth, and with your every movement, your unique rhythm, the spores of the mushrooms attach themselves to you, some of them letting go, connecting to the earth, leaving a living path of light behind you, making it impossible for other shadows to touch your heart. The wall of the well has changed. The stones are completely invisible by rapidly growing roots, intertwined and rock solid. The hole is now too small to climb back through. A feeling of panic almost possesses you, but then you remember the mushrooms. And with spores attached to your skin, you touch the veiny roots. They quickly turn white as mushrooms started to feast. The roots retreated and your journey could continue. You sense that time has gifted you with a more trained body, and with this gained confidence, you climb higher. The blue eye is coming closer, but is still intangibly far away. When you push against a stone, it gives way, and with your own eyes now more used to the light, you peer through. What you see is a forest, the trees from the roots that you had seen before, deep underground. Vertical wooden bodies are inhabiting this space. They are stuck in place, chained by their roots in order to stand up. They are all crowded closely together, forming a dense forest where each tree seems to fight in order to get enough light. Unaware of this unspoken battle, you push a branch aside to get through this entangled forest. Its tree body creaked as it swiftly twisted to smash you in the face with another of its wooden arms. Totally surprised, you fall backwards, crashing into another tree. Being unwelcomely awakened from its slumber, it gives you a hard push. Your mind is scared for your safety and wants your body to quickly react, sending a wave of energy through you. With sharpened senses, you watch to predict their next moves. The trees are now roused up and ready to hit you again, sending bigger and heavier branches down on you. You wait for the right moment, and then with a quick step to the side, you are able to duck away from the two fighting timbers. The trees' throats collided with one another and their branches break on impact with a devastating crash. But before they could even hit the ground, you are gone. Carefully, not to disturb the others' sleeping dangers, you zigzagged through the trees. The angry atmosphere is slowly dissolving as you walk further through the woods. The forest got more spacious as you briskly walk further. The ground got drier and less plants were choosing to live in the poor soil. It also got hotter and ferns and bramble got replaced by cacti. The shape of them reminds you of the aggressive trees, but the prickly plants have plenty of space and sun and no need to fight for more. You notice that they have strange shapes, and you get the feeling that you're being watched. The hairs on your body start to resemble the sharp spines of the cacti, so you get the feeling that something strange is going on. Then you see something far in the horizon, its shape undulating as heat ripples your perception. When you get closer, you recognize the form and are amazed to discover it's a giant head. It rests there, surrounded by even more cacti. Its eyes are closed. Its face is androgynous, neither masculine or particularly feminine. Its expression appears peaceful. This makes you feel a bit calmer, although it makes you question how it got there. On its head protrude round, ball-like shapes that remind you of some of the mushroom species you came across. You come closer as you are inspecting this peculiar object, wondering what kind of material it's made of and who its maker could have been. When you reach out your hand, it startles you because it feels like flesh. Warm skin, not so very different from your own outer layer. This causes another reaction. One of the bulbous forms on its head starts to slowly open up, revealing an eye, and it's looking straight at you. You gasp as now all the other balls start to awake, and shortly after, all of them are pointed at you. The face remains emotionless, and its spirit seems unconcerned about what is happening. The eyes are piercing through your being, judging you with their gaze. This makes you question everything, and not able to find any answers paralyzes you. You close your eyes to shelter yourself from its confronting stare. In the darkness, you are able to think again. A thought starts to dimly glow as it forms in your mind. Like the fungi, it starts consuming the dead ends of all the worries, rooting you into the present moment where change is still possible. You start to think like a mushroom. You hear a new sound. Your own voice pushes away the heavy burden as you start to speak to the head and to yourself. The real you is slowly surfacing. Your arms and legs in the millions, they reach far and achieve a lot. Hard work, you digest wood and stones with your outer stomach. Trees trustingly tell you their concerns and trade with you for a nice meal. All this in the secretive dark earth. Unseen and unheard, you do your own thing. Then something special happens. Everything is right. It is time. You make a sphere. It grows to the light and enjoys a good rain shower. It's the apple of your eye, with or without stem. This part of you will get crushed, picked or eaten, but you will make new ones again when the time is right. It grows like crazy until it starts to divide. Little seeds that dance on the wind, unaware where they will land. They are just like you, but slightly different. And there you stand, both feet firmly planted in the loose sand. A small smile relaxes the muscles in your face. Hearing only the familiar rhythm of your heart and the ebbing and flowing of your breath. The pauses in between are a clear and pure emptiness. But a new sound is added in, a soft tap, followed by another and another, getting louder and faster. This is making you aware again of your surroundings. Slowly lifting your heavy eyelids, you dare to face the outside world. The eyes on the giant head are leaking, filling up with liquid and streaming down the forehead, cheeks and chin, dripping on the hard-packed earth underneath. It looks like you have triggered something that made it spill all the water it had bottled up. Puddles begin to form, branching off into little streams. Harder and harder the tears flow. Water is touching your feet. The earth had been dry for ages and is not used to this amount of pure aqua. Unable to absorb causes the water to rise. The puddles become a pond, then a small lake. It envelops your body and you feel your being becoming lighter. Carried by the salty waves, you start to float. A watery message engulfs you, and you listen as this fox flumen tells you its secrets, hydrating you as you drift away from the head, its face peacefully disappearing under the calming waves. You absorb what strengthens you and let go what is weighing you down, creating a balance of giving and taking. Finally, your deep thirst for more has been eased, but you know the journey is not over yet. The salty tears carry you back to the boxing trees, the soothing liquid cooling down their hot temper, feeding not their violence but their potential as trees. Small green points will start to appear, and tiny white buds will unfold themselves. The blossom will have such a powerful scent that other beings will come. Bees taking all they could carry and spreading the nectar so that the flowers transform into fruit. And when they would fall, they would make it possible for the trees to pass life on. You can now see your own potential more clearly. The why to live. It made it easier to overcome the how. There you are, back again at the well. Water is spilling through the opening, pulling your body with it. Without resistance, you float to the center of the well, passing all the stones with their treacherous sharp edges and slippery surfaces. You had to climb if the water had not been there. Feel yourself being pushed up with the rising water level, drifting higher. You look up. You can see the top of the well coming closer as the stone reservoir is steadily filling up, helped by the additional flow of your own sorrows, expelling from your deepest source. Then it stops. The water is waiting for you to make the next step. With the end of the well in sight, you climb out. It is easier than ever now, since the water had caused a polyphony of life to anchor to the stones, climbing just like you, with a body planted in darkness, and with a spirit growing towards the light, sharing your journey and growing entangled through this embodiment, this symbiosis. You are a well-being. Now go and be Vox Populi, the voice of the people. Let enchanted resilience grow as you speak your truth. Be well now.